I'm going to share with you tonight. Yesterday, the squad, as they are called, Alejandria Ocasio-Cortez, Representative Ilhan Omar, Rashid Tlaib, and Representative Ayanna Pressley, they held a press conference to respond to President Trump's presser yesterday. I want to share with you some of what Representative Ilhan Omar had to say about President Trump. And please, it's a fairly short clip, but please listen closely.
This president, who has been credibly accused of committing multiple crimes, including colluding with foreign government to interfere with our election.
So I'm going to repeat it to you just so you have this, because what I want to share with you, what she just said, is very important to the rest of what I want to share with you tonight. So she just said, and I'm quoting, this president, who has been credibly accused of committing multiple crimes, including colluding with foreign government to interfere with our election. First off, total and complete lie. Mueller clearly stated there was nobody in the Trump camp that colluded or committed conspiracy to work with a foreign national or foreign government. Nobody, nada, zilcho, but she still wants to go out there and put those lies out to the public. So here you've got Representative Ilhan Omar lying flat out about President Trump supposedly working with a foreign government during an election. As we all know, that is a very, very big deal if someone were to go do that, Hillary Clinton and the dossier. But nobody wants an American citizen going around that's going to be running for office working with a foreign national or a foreign government during a campaign. I think we all could agree with that. We all learned from Jeff Sessions, remember this, that if you are an elected U.S. senator, you're a sitting U.S. senator, you're on the Senate Armed Services Committee, so you've got all this sort of stature, if you will, all these titles, but even then, Jeff Sessions had to recuse himself because, remember, he had met with a Russian diplomat, a Russian person, as a U.S. senator on the Senate Armed Services Committee. Important context. Now, question about Representative Ilhan Omar. It's kind of a quiz time, if you will. Do you remember when she was elected to the U.S. House? The U.S. House. She got elected to the U.S. House in November of 2018. Please remember that, November of 2018. Very important date, because the picture I'm about to show you is from September of 2017. September of 2017, when Omar was a member of then the Minnesota House. So remember what she just said about President Trump. And this is her in September of 2017. And that tweet in English says, our president, Erdogan, has accepted the Minnesota House of Representatives, Ilhan Omar. If you don't know who that is, we can bring up the next picture, please. This is Representative Ilhan Omar in 2017 as just a member of the Minnesota House, hanging out with the president of Turkey. He's been the president of Turkey since 2014. Last time I checked, Turkey is a foreign government. Why is she hanging out with the president of Turkey? Is only a state member of the Minnesota House. Let's go to the next picture, please. Here she is again with President Erdogan and some more, I'm assuming, the delegation there that was at this event. So that was September of 2017. Now let me share you something that Representative Omar herself, remember, she said no one should be hanging out with foreign governments, right? President Trump colluded, crimes. Here's Representative Omar's tweet from July of 2017. She says, it was an honor to host the Turkish Consul General for lunch yesterday and have him join me for a tour. Wouldn't you love to know what the Turkish Consul General and Representative Omar were talking about over lunch in, what was I just say, July of 2017? Something to think about. Also, check this out. Back in November of 2016, when Ilhan Omar won her House seat in Minnesota, the foreign minister of Turkey called up and congratulated Ilhan Omar for being elected to the Minnesota State Assembly in the United States. Why in the world would the foreign minister of Turkey be picking up the phone to call Representative Omar when she just won a House seat in Minnesota? Not even a U.S. House seat, just a simple House seat. Then in November of 2018, again, the Turkey foreign minister decided to pick up the phone, and check this out, please, wanted to call and congratulate Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib on their victory. Now, I want to bring these two up here about the phone calls because, gosh, I seem to remember if someone from a foreign government were to call you, you know, and who knows what went on in these conversations, but don't you think it might be a good idea for Ilhan Omar to, oh yeah, call the FBI? Remember that whole deal with George Stephanopoulos and President Trump in the Oval Office? Hey, if someone were to call you from a foreign government and say maybe they got some dirt on a person, would you take that phone call? And there was that big hoorah, and here you've got 2 phone calls from the foreign minister of Turkey calling Ilhan Omar, and I don't know, maybe she did call the FBI. Right now, we don't know that for certain. So there's some things laid out about Omar, with what she said yesterday about President Trump committing crimes, colluding with a foreign government. Here you can clearly see. Now, again, to be fair to her, we all know that sometimes, you know, House people in states, they go on these little junkets to foreign countries. Maybe that's what it was, but it does seem kind of odd that the foreign minister of Turkey is calling her when she wins a House seat in Minnesota, and then again when she wins a U.S. House seat. But here's another kicker if you want to talk about foreign influence in an election. Check out this graphic. We can bring this up, please. So the state-run TV in Turkey is now calling on Turkish people, to send money to Representative Omar's congressional campaign. Oh, by the way, that's against the law. That is against federal law to take foreign donations to your campaign. Now, of course, she can't control Turkey's media, but boy, hopefully somebody's got a FISA warrant on Omar, don't you think? They had a FISA warrant on Carter Page. You know, they were spying on George Papadopoulos. Probably a pretty good idea, knowing who she's talking to, the president of Turkey and the foreign minister, that just maybe might be a good idea if the FBI had a little FISA taken out on Representative Ilhan Omar. Love to know your thoughts on that. Here's what's fascinating. I laid this out for producer Josh today, and producer Josh was like, man, he goes, you and Laura Loomer and Tori and please check out lauraloomer.us. You can check out more about this article, but he's like, between you, Laura Loomer, and Tori, you guys found more evidence of collusion than Bob Mueller did through the entire investigation. So the big question is when is the U.S. government going to pay me $35 million for laying out more collusion between Omar and Turkey than Trump and Russia? That's what I would love to know. So to me, that is stunning. Woman stands up yesterday, accuses our president of committing crimes, colluding with a foreign government, and here she is, phone calls from the foreign ministry of Turkey, hanging out with the president of Turkey, Mr. Erdogan. Again, you can make your own conclusions, but I think it's important information to have.